If anybody's on Zoom, will you let me know besides Sandy?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you're all set.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. It's, what time is it?
It is
6:03.
6:03.
6:03. Roll call.
Paul St. Armand.
Maureen Buffy, Anna Sumpico.
And Norma Smith.
Oh, sorry, just one sec.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Sorry.
it's not doing.
All right, we're good now.
We start again.
Yes,
Roll,
sorry.
roll call.
Paul St. Armand.
Maureen Buffy, Anna Sumpico.
Norma Smith. Erin Brewster is not in attendance this evening. Did everybody get to review the minutes?
No.
No, I did not.
I didn't either because I printed the wrong ones out. Can we approve them next month, table it for next month? Can you do that?
Yeah.
We'll table them for review next month. All in favor?
I,
All right, so that's all. Oh, we have the September 20, no, we have the August 26th ones. Did everybody read this August 26th ones?
yes.
Did you get the August 26th ones? That's the ones I have. We
And
don't
are
get
those
this-
the ones that I abstained from voting on last time in September?
Yes,
Because I hadn't been at the meeting?
yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Is everyone in favor of the minutes of August 26th? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we can approve a motion to approve the amended minutes from August 26th, because they were amended.
You make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Favor. Okay, approved. I started off with this same old things, the pink granite update. It did not qualify for that grant that we had talked about. So we still need to find a way to finance it. But even with that particular grant, we would have had to share a percent. I don't remember what the percent was, but Erin had checked into it and we would have had to have money to offset. I think it was 30%. I don't remember. So Paul had suggested that maybe we do something fundraising, creative thinking, and do something to raise the money so that when we do apply for a grant, if we do have to pay a portion of it, we have it. But for one thing, we need to know
So,
the cost. for
right,
one
so you
thing.
want me to proceed with doing some
Yeah,
sketches, drawings enough to be able to get
Right,
estimates on that work?
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. But, and once we know the amount and we figure if we're going to do something creative to raise money, here's what I think is something we would need to look into as far as a town agency. If we raise money, it goes to the town,
Yeah.
but we don't, I don't want it in general fund.
Right,
I
I
want it
understand.
specifically set for a specific purpose, because if you don't do that, and I don't know if the town will do that. If, say, we raise a few $1,000s towards this, we want it to be held for this, not shifted somewhere else like they do. They all do it, the state does it, towns
yeah.
do it, whatever, it's what they do. So if we do something to raise money versus grant or plus grant, we need to know if we can do that and have it not be touched.
Or is that why that we're not a 501c and the Historical Society is, but our commission isn't?
This commission isn't, because it's a municipality commission. Society is private, nonprofit. So they have a 501c3, the town doesn't. The town is nonprofit, but because of its classification, those grants, we cannot, as a commission, apply for. But this one with the state, we could have, but it was for restoration. They don't consider that
Right.
restoration.
Okay.
They consider that like new construction.
yeah, they're primarily trying to restore old structures, old
Yeah.
historic
Yeah.
places, whatever, but we're trying to create something.
Right.
They don't do that.
Do we qualify as this commission? Do we qualify for the municipal grants? Are those the ones that are local government? I can't remember
Well,
the
that's what was-
acronym.
That was one of the ones
The
for the
acronym.
state right now was through
Okay.
the state, this state and federal funding. The deadline was the end of September, but October 1st, I think it was. But
There are others that they
there
do?
are others that Erin was looking into for me, and
Yeah.
she's not here tonight, so we
Right.
won't be
I'm-
able to look into that. I mean,
I
discuss
certainly
that.
know nothing about,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I
what's
didn't
available,
look
but
into it because she said she would, and I thought, oh, good, somebody else. is-"
yeah,
but
no,
she's
no,
not
she was
here,
doing a
so-
good job with that.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, just to give an example, I mean, like Alan Sean Feinstein does things. I'm not saying for this, but
no, I know.
if theoretically they were willing to give money, and I'm not saying we're gonna, that isn't the
no, I know
point,
what you're
but
saying,
is that something that you can get money
If
from?
you can get a grant specific,
Yep,
yeah, it has to go to that. But
yep.
if we raise money, which you had suggested, doing some sort of
No, but I mean,
fundraising, to raise money, then there's no earmark.
It's
on it.
suppose someone wanted to donate $2,500
It would have to
to,
be specific.
right, it would just have to be specific. Okay,
Yeah, they can't just turn $2,500 without any,
right, but I mean, if.
Yeah.
Again, theoretically, if I went to a business and said, look,
Right.
we're doing this, 4 or 5 businesses.
right,
Would you be willing to do this and have your name be put on the plaque as
Yeah.
a donor, you know, when we did it?
Right.
Is that
Mhm.
acceptable? To
yes.
do that type of thing?
I don't see why not, but
Hmm.
there, I think we need something in writing to
Hmm.
do that. I mean, a form for them to fill out, so it
Do you
says
know, John?
specific.
Yeah, I don't know about the specific rules and regulations about raising funds for a specific commission or a specific project.
Yep,
And what sort of hoops we would need to jump through to make sure that everything's on the up and up,
Right.
whether it's just as simple as a form, whether we need to have,
do you open an account specifically for that?
right, that's what I'm
That
not
is
sure about.
overseen by the town or something? you
So
know.
that's something that I can look into.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll reach out to the solicitor and get his thoughts.
Only
on
I-
how to do
I
it and make it.
did it for 4 or 5 years for a scholarship fund and raise money, and I go to business and I did it to do that, and we
Yeah.
raised in 4 years, like $50,000 or $60,000 way back, you know.
Yeah.
This was 20 years ago, but
Great.
you know, we did it, and we did a golf tournament too, but a lot of it from donations from businesses for
Yeah.
doing things. And I'm just not, you know, wondering if, you know,
We wanna
again,
be sure-
if this, we're not talking a huge amount of money
no, no,
here,
no.
so, you know,
Hmm.
I know enough people that I would, and I'm not bashful, that I would go and ask and say, Lou, you know, would you be willing to do this to create, you know, we're trying to create something historically significant in there, and we need to raise some money. And, you know, who know, I don't know whether I'd be successful or not, but, you know, if
Yeah.
that could be done, and I'm just doing it because back when we did this other thing for the scholarship fund, it had to be done where, you know, you had a bank account, you know, so
Right.
it was
Right.
no funny business can be done or perceived to be done, even though, you know,
Well, when they did the W3R, they
Yeah.
did it through the Western Rhode Island Society. They had opened a specific account
Right,
for that
right,
project, but they
yep.
used Western Rhode Island Civic Historical Society 501c3.
right, right.
But it
Right.
did, it was kept
Yeah.
separate, and that's the same thing. I don't know how the town
So,
works. so
and
we
and I'm
need to-
just throwing this out there because that seems to be our problem, you know, with
Yeah.
how we deal with anything. If we're gonna, even the projects for the signs, I know you have
Right,
things,
right,
like-
right.
but whatever we go to do,
Right.
we need to find out what is allowable and how we go about it so that
Mm.
we can start doing something, you know, with doing these projects or things we want to try.
You're right, because even from experience with the State Police Museum, it's a 501c3, and they've
Hmm.
always gotten donations, they've had
Right.
scholarships, they've done
Yep.
road races, they do
Yeah,
everything you can imagine, and they've kept it separate from, you know, the state police itself couldn't, not that they would interfere,
No,
we have a
they
lot of
but just,
retirees
so
and
there's no,
stuff.
no hint of impropriety,
Right.
basically, is what you're
Right.
doing. So
Right.
anyway, that's one way to, you know, to go about
Mm.
finally trying to be able to create something with it, but I don't, I have no idea what's allowable because we're a town commission.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
just
that's
That's
the
what
thing.
makes it different. It's
Yep,
it's
that's
like a
right.
town
And
commissioner.
that's what's confusing to us,
Yeah.
being new to this is to have the help
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
John and
Yeah.
the town
To do it
manager,
right.
whoever,
To do it right.
whoever it is to advise
Yeah.
and tell us how we can
Mhm.
set something up to
Yeah,
do it.
'cause
And
it's-
then,
yeah.
once you've got that set up, when you're
Yeah,
raising money somehow and it's into that, it could be used either specifically for that or for things related, like
Right.
signage.
Right.
And I'll shut up after I get done with this
No,
thing
please.
here,
No, go
but
ahead.
like when we talked about doing signs for houses and stuff like that, I mean, you gotta have some money available to
Mhm.
pay the person who's gonna do that
Mhm.
stuff until you sell them or whatever you're gonna do. So, it's just
yeah, you're
starts
right. I
a
mean,
whole
because
whole process. And
Yeah.
we've talked about different things over the past year or two and, just haven't
yeah, like the
figured out
brakes get put
how
on,
do you
so,
go about
yeah.
it financially.
Right.
do
it's-
it, so.
We've been restricted because of grants.
Sure.
Yep.
Whether they're full, like Champlain, we can't do Champlain, which is
Hmm,
usually full,
Right,
a full grant,
yeah,
but we can't do
That's-
that,
right.
where the Historical Society could do that.
Hmm.
So I just, before we go, we plan to raise money.
Mhm,
I want to be sure we can,
right,
because anything we do, I don't want to see it come out of taxpayers' money. I really
Mm.
don't.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Sure.
enough that, and it's minuscule, it's not going to affect budget, but still, I want to be able to say, well, this is not taxpayer money. So that people can't really object about the spending.
Mhm.
right.
It's little in comparison to what the problems are with the town. Anyway, so,
Okay.
can you check on that for
Yes.
us, please?
Yes, I'll have an answer for
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
before the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Now, we talked about signs and I went online and I forgot part of it. This is what the state is doing for signage, the state commission. So I'm gonna look at
Those are
them.
very nice. Where did I,
Manville,
Yeah.
they're made in Manville.
right, but where did I see some in town recently? There's somebody's had done that
Paint
looked
House
really.
has one. a
Oh,
new-
that's
a
where it
new
is.
brown
Paint House.
sign.
They have very
Right,
nice.
I
ones.
went, I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And I also have
That's, yeah, those. are really nice.
Barrington's rules and regulations on their signage program, plaque program, but I left it on my table.
That's
So I can
Hmm.
email it out,
Yeah,
because we
that's
need a
fine.
sample, we need
Sure.
a sample, and Barrington's is theirs is probably too extreme in comparison to us, but,
Mhm.
I've been looking
It's a
for,
start. It's like you
Exactly,
say, you just looking for
exactly.
something, an
This
idea.
is for the village signs? Is that,
for the house plaques.
Oh, the house
and-
plaques,
And also
that's-
village
right,
signs, but the
that's
house plaques too. Barrington has a house plaque program,
Mhm.
and that's, I
Okay,
left it on my table,
Yeah.
which irritates me, but.
It
Um,
happens.
But they've got all kinds of signs through these people in
this is great.
Manville, if
Mm.
the other one locally doesn't work, it's still at
Yep.
least in Rhode Island.
right.
But Maureen had
Yeah.
talked about the brown signs, and maybe this is where they get them.
Are we there yet?
We're getting to there,
Okay.
because it's got National Registry and everything
Mhm.
there, so,
Mm.
but the house plaques, I have that Barrington information, which I can email to
Yep.
everybody, and we can talk, because we had said we want to talk about it in January, so we have
Right,
time.
Right, and I know just on that subject, that
Yeah.
the other woman that runs a business over here on Main Street is
Yeah.
very interested in doing them.
Okay,
It's really up to us to give her, I mean, again, based on what we gave her back then, she'd
Yeah.
given an estimate on it.
but this is nice to have the visual. Is this
Oh,
what we
absolutely.
talked about?
Yeah,
Just the oval, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because, and these are out of different kinds of materials, but it's nice to have the visual too.
Mhm.
Whether
Yeah.
we
And
get
that's-
them from these people or those
Sure.
people.
yeah,
You
get,
know,
find out how much
Yeah.
those
yeah.
type
This
would
is
be
who Rhode
too.
Island Preservation Commission gets
Mhm.
their signs from.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
This is new to have, that they have this on their website. Did you
Mhm.
know?
Cool. That's,
And then Maureen has started the process for the brown signs.
When we talk about that for a minute.
Mhm.
So we agreed when we talked about it that it might be a good idea just to make sure that nobody from the town has any objections to us moving forward. I was able to get an email to the town manager. He emailed us back right away and he said that he thought it was a good idea. Again, and this is all based on that there's no charge for this. So that's how we're proceeding with this, is that there's grant money that comes, I believe 80% federal and 20% paid for by the state. So yeah, so he gave us his approval yesterday. This morning, I sent a note to the customer service at Department of Transportation. Also today, they got back to me and told me that they were going to start it on the chain, and they said we should hear back in a few weeks whether we get approved. One of the criteria was the area or the property had to be on the national register, or someplace that you had to prove was significant, and you had to meet their criteria. And since the 4 villages that we wanted to put signs up were already historic districts on the national register, I'm hoping that won't be a problem. So then I guess the next step already, and I was surprised this part happened so fast. They said it goes to the traffic commission, and they review whether they can put signs in. And so one of the things that I thought of, and I haven't really asked anybody yet, do you think this would be one of those things where there's a sign coming from one direction and a sign coming from the other direction?
One at both ends, shouldn't there?
In theory, like that's what I'm thinking, because when these districts applied to be on that register, they had to start with a fixed address on one end and end it with a fixed address. So in theory,
Each one
what
should
we're
have
asking
2.
for would be 8 signs. So and as far as I understand, it would be the Department of Transportation that would be installing those signs as well, because I'm thinking too, at least in this case, at least 2 of them would be on a state road. If
117.
117 would be, and Anthony would be, so
And 14 as well. Ray
so
City.
so the 4 districts that we applied for were Anthony, Hopkins Hollow / Roaring Brook. I'm not as familiar with Roaring Brook, but that's the district, Rice City and South Main Street. And so those would be the four districts.
Which all of South Main Street is not a national district. It only goes as far as Wood Street.
Did they ever put a boundary increase on that one? I know that for Rice City, they added on
Ray City
later.
did, but they never
Okay.
did for South Main, which could be,
Okay.
be,
Okay.
because there's enough historic buildings beyond Wood Street.
What about Arkwright?
It's not a historic
No.
district.
Oh, I thought it was, no.
The bridges.
The bridges,
Yeah, that's
but
what we're
not.
thinking.
Yeah,
the
the
Okay,
bridge,
that's
sure,
what,
not the
that's what,
district.
okay.
Yeah, the bridges. Also to Anthony includes Quidnick. Quidnick is not a
Mm.
separate historic district. It
Yeah.
includes Quidnick up to, I think, Batty Street. I think that's
Oh.
all Anthony. And then you go into Washington. And Washington is not a historic district.
One of the things that might work in our favor is when I had talked to the preservation, the supervising preservation specialist in that the unit that deals with this stuff. He mentioned that had been several years since they had a request from a group to put in a brown sign. So I'm hoping that might work in our favor.
Right, right.
Yeah,
A new interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
I know this is an obvious question. Is it called a brown sign just because they're brown?
I think, I think
Because
so.
it
It's
like-
a category of
Like that,
informational
because
signs.
they are done
They're
in
similar
brown,
to
right?
this kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm imagining though too, it's gonna,
Oh, they
but
like
it's
the
gonna
ones
be
with-
on the road, so it's not gonna be something that's gonna be fine print. I'm
So it's like
thinking
the
that-
one that, for Payne House that's on the road, it's brown with, it's not engraved like the one
Yeah.
on Payne House, it's one on the road that says
Yeah,
Payne
but
House.
it's brand
next-
new.
Next right,
Yeah,
it's
their
gray.
sign is new, their sign is
gray?
new, but I thought they got theirs from, they paid money to a
Yeah.
private company for that.
not the
Yeah.
one on the property. The one on 117.
Oh, yes, Norma,
No,
I know
those
what
the
you're
brown
talking about.
signs.
Yes, when they first
Yeah.
put it up, they misspelled it and then they
Yeah.
quickly fixed it. I
Yeah, it
remember.
was
that.
Payne, P-A-I-N.
Yeah.
I said, that's true.
I
Really?
was driving by and I saw it. And I'm like,
That is
that doesn't
funny.
look right.
Yeah, so they fixed
They
it.
fixed it quickly.
Yeah.
But right, Norma,
So
that's,
those are brown.
right,
probably
so
what
I'm-
they are like.
I'm not anticipating that there's gonna be much detail on it because
no,
it's
like
gonna be the
these.
thing you're gonna see from
Yeah.
the road as you're driving by.
Okay. No, but that's good. At least something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the town manager said that he thought it was a great idea. It was a great
It was
idea.
encouraging, so we
Yeah,
can,
that's
Yeah.
good.
yeah. I wanted to mention too, I got this also from the state preservation site, which I can send you all a copy of. It's very small print of all the properties in Coventry that were in the 1978 survey. So this will give us an idea of historic properties. Some don't exist anymore,
Oh, geez.
but most of them I think do. So I'll forward this to all of you guys if you want to look through it. It's very tiny print. I've got the book too, but this, we can zero
Yeah,
in
well,
on a
right,
list.
right,
Better
'cause
than
if you
flipping
got-
through a book.
If you got it on
Yeah.
your computer screen, you can enlarge it and see it.
Coventry, huh? Oh.
Yeah, so there's quite a few that were in that survey,
Wow.
and there are some that are gone, like I said, but there are
Mm.
some that were never included, and I don't know why. So it could be added to. But, that's just Coventry, so I'll forward that list to everybody. Find it on my computer. I never remember where I save things.
I'm with you, believe me.
I know. I know you go out of your way to make sure you save it.
I
and
can't find it.
and then
It's like,
you
what did
just-
I call it? Where did I put it?
It's just not there. It's there, but it's just.
Yeah, it takes you a long time to find it. Yeah. But that at least gives you an idea of,
Mm.
you
That's
could send
pretty
letters to
interesting.
people and say, your house is
pretty
in this
cool.
survey, would you like a
Yeah,
plaque?
no, that's a good way to do it.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Norma, is that on the Rhode Island
Rhode Island
Preservation and
Preservation,
Heritage Commission?
yes, yeah.
site? Okay,
So is this.
okay.
This,
okay.
they've just redone their website. This never used to be on their website. They've just done it, well, I mean, over the last few months. That's how I got that, because they never had that listing like that before.
And that's where I found the listing of the Coventry Historic Register, the districts and
Yeah.
some properties
Right.
as well. And but there were only
Yeah.
4 that I could pull out
Yeah,
that
I
were
think,
villages.
I used to
that
think there were
on
5, because Rice City was done in 2 pieces. That's probably why I was thinking there were
The
5.
boundary increase.
Yeah, Rice City was done in two projects. It was, and then they added to it, so that's why I thought there were 5.
I thought there were more, but when you explained about Quidnick, that's what was.
Quidnick is part of Anthony,
Yeah, I
was
never
done
knew
as
that.
part of Anthony.
Never
Why did
realized
it
that.
continue through Washington? I don't know, but they didn't, so,
Hmm.
but then Washington isn't really part of Anthony, so,
Yeah.
Paul, can you pass
and
these
I don't
back
know
to
if there's
me?
enough left in Washington to do
Yeah.
it with. I mean, South Main Street is part of Washington, but the center of Washington is gone, pretty much gone. Anyway, okay, so that's good. Anything
Good
else
work,
about?
Maureen.
Yeah, yeah, we finally
Definitely.
got somebody say, oh, yay,
That's
with us.
As long as it doesn't depend on me going out there and sticking
No,
a
well,
sign
there
in the
again,
ground and expecting it to be straight.
they
And
put them in, they put them in.
that's what I would hope.
How do
yeah.
they determine the spot? We're not there yet.
We're not at that point yet, but what I'm thinking they would do is they would go to the application with the details
Mhm.
for the historic register that states the property, and then I think their traffic commission has to review where they would put, it's
Okay.
safe to put a sign,
Right,
it's safe to
right.
put a
Mhm.
sign.
Okay, no, I was just curious. Okay, is that everything for signs and grants and all that? Okay, we're moving on to the Reed School Stewardship, which we did discuss at the last meeting, and we tabled it because people weren't really sure exactly what it was.
Hmm.
Since that time, it's already been announced at a town council meeting, so we were gonna vote on it, but yet it's already been announced at a town council meeting, so
It has been passed on to us according to what I read in the paper, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
without us
Yep.
even really discussing it, because people weren't they needed time to think about it and whatever.
Right.
So anyway, apparently it was approved at a council meeting. So we have the stewardship of the school, which has caused a big uproar. Because at present time, the Historical Society, who has been overseeing the school for almost 50 years, is moving everything out of it. Because all that's in it is theirs,
Okay.
and they're moving it here to their room, to the annex. I don't know what to say.
So what's going to be left in the school, and what are they going to use it for, or what's the,
Well, we're the stewards over the school.
we're the
At
students?
one time, it was said we could work on our projects in the school. Well, we really can't work on projects in the school because it's not climate controlled.
Right.
A lot of, that the
It'd be
things that we have.
destroyed, it would destroy things,
Exactly.
yeah.
So it's just like the library, except we can breathe in the school. You can't breathe in the library. Well, you
Oh, yeah,
can,
I
but
bet.
it's tricky.
It's
Yeah,
unhealthy.
That's
It's
a-
unhealthy.
your report was, wow. I
Yeah.
got to see.
The school is not in that condition, obviously. But, and it can be used for meetings, but you can't have a crowd in there. I mean, I don't know. And then if I was thinking we could find out from a fire department how many people could go in there, but can
You'd have
people?
to, if you're
Because
gonna
there's
have
not
meetings.
2 exits.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh.
And it's not handicap accessible.
No, I mean, true, those granite steps
So
are
you get
steep.
into trouble with that aspect of it as well.
And you're not gonna really be using it for anything.
So, to have it be what I thought that it would stay an example of a one-room school. And we would work with the Historical Society, what they would have their things on display that pertain to the school,
Mhm.
and we would work together
Mhm.
to be sure the school is taken care of. But it's this whole big thing now that everybody's upset. And I don't know where to go with it. I mean, technically it's ours. But it isn't ours. I mean, it belongs to the town.
Well,
And I'm not looking to take it away from the town, but it's just sad that the society has done all it's done all these years.
yeah.
And now it's as if none of that mattered.
So some of those school desks, and I think I'd asked you before, some of those, aren't those some original that have been bolted into the floor?
They're
Some-
bolted into the floor. And I did find a beginning book of minutes of the Historical Society. The desks are not from that school, but they are from schools in the town.
Okay. All right.
There's a big bell in there, which could also be from one of the schools in the town, but that wasn't written down. At the same time, and I didn't realize this, at the same time they were working on Reed School, they were also working on the Washington School as a museum, the school on Katy Street. So they had both schools at the same time. At the end of this book of minutes, after about 8 years, they were still working on the school, on Washington. Reed was finished. They were working on Washington. Whatever happened with that, I don't know. They were still working on Washington. They were paying for the heat and the utilities, and they were painting and whatever work they were doing in Washington School. Well, obviously, something happened along the way, and that I haven't found the continuation minutes, which I hope we do find. Because they certainly didn't keep the Washington School. I don't know why. Not that that matters to this.
Was that a 1 room or 2 room?
It was more than
schoolhouse?
one. I think it was 2 or 3. I'm not sure. It was
Is that
similar
the
to
one
the
that
Anthony
there's a-
School.
Is that the one that there's a, like a nursery school?
Yeah,
in
it's a
that?
daycare now, or
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it's similar to the Anthony School or Mapledale
Mhm.
School. They were also looking at that at the time. But the town gave it to the Anthony Anthony Fire Station. That's when they went in and put the garage doors
Right,
in the back,
yep.
and they were using it for storage. So they never got that school, but they had Reed and they had Washington. Reed was going to be a 1-room school, and Washington was going to be a museum. And they were working on the 2 schools. They had Reed before Washington, which I always had it backwards in my mind, from my memory. So they had both at the time, and they were working to get both. So what happened with Washington? I don't know. Not that that
That's
matters
just
today.
privately owned now.
Yeah,
right?
not that that matters today, but it makes you wonder.
Hmm.
If they've had both at the time and were working on both at the time, what went wrong? Maybe they
Hmm.
gave up on one, I don't know. Anyway, if I find the answer, I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But anyway, I didn't realize they were working on both schools at the same time.
So,
As a matter of fact, that bell a matter of fact, I'm thinking that bell in Reed School might be from Washington, because I think Washington had a bell.
yeah, I think so.
Reed
Yeah.
didn't, but Washington did.
Yeah. Probably did, trying to
I mean, I'm thinking.
picture it from many
yeah.
years ago.
There's nothing written on it, but I'm just, and I haven't found anything to document that, but that's why I'm wondering, because nobody knows where the bell came from. But that would make sense.
Yeah, it would.
If they were
Yeah,
working
if
on
they
the
were working
two
on
at the
that.
same time, that would make sense. So anyway, get back to the stewardship.
Hmm.
So as we are stewards, do we? I don't know how to put this. Do we make the rules, or do we decide how it's used? Do we make a deal with Coventry Historical
I-
Society to work with them? Can we
I-
do that?
I think
Is
that
it
in my
acceptable?
mind, that's the definition of stewardship, is you take responsibility to see how it is safely and correctly
Right.
utilized.
So now that technically that's
I
happened,
think that should give you the
should
wiggle
we?
room to do
Of course, we
that.
would probably have to put something together and go to council, but I just think what I would like to see happen is ruffle everybody's feathers and get back to how we worked together before.
Hmm.
Whoever's got the title steward, it doesn't really matter. Because for one thing,
Hmm,
there again, Coventry Historical has a 501c3
And we don't,
and we don't.
that's big.
And we don't. I mean, our historic purpose works better when you're working with a 501c3
Well.
in some
exactly,
instances.
Right, yeah, I'm just thinking of, the panels for the windows, which were gonna get done by Coventry Historical.
Mhm.
Now they won't be doing that because
We're
they've
gonna, we're
kind of
supposed to
been,
do it.
evicted,
Yeah,
in a
well,
sense.
that's how they see it.
yeah,
That's how they see it.
so,
So now
Uh,
we have to do that.
We have to
if we
make
want
it,
them,
like,
which we,
Mm.
we have to do that.
it's not, I think my only concern is if they, meetings, there can't be any meetings there. That's like you said, that would need I mean, I would think the fire chief would have to go in there and take a look and say, you need access, you need this and that. And
and beyond that, and once you get to this time of the year, it's gonna be 50
can't-
degrees in
Yeah,
there.
you can't.
You know,
Right,
you're not
right.
gonna- So,
so, I mean, as far as, and how much will the town help in that case? To get it up to speed,
Right.
because,
Well, one of the things that was said about removing the desks or some of the desks so that people could walk around in there. And I'm thinking to myself, without desks, you don't get the true picture
feel
of
like
the
a
school.
yeah.
Plus,
It's a
how long are you
storage
gonna
room.
walk in there?
I know it's
You know,
tiny.
you only let a few in at a time. You don't let a mob go in, obviously.
No, it's a really small room.
Yeah.
And once you take the desk out, you're absolutely right. It doesn't have the flavor of a schoolhouse. You can't even picture it unless you had picture after picture on the wall and you could say this is where the desks were, but we don't.
The
have that.
desks are different.
Yeah,
And the desks are from the town, from the time period. I mean, that school closed in 51. So those schools were all starting to close then, and they were building the Washington and Tioga and
Yeah.
the new Quidnick School and whatever. So those desks are part of the town, not specifically that school, because the town was using it for storage. But to me,
So we're kind of in a gray area, not knowing
Yeah.
what we can do.
right.
Is it the town manager that has to kind
Well,
of guide that
I
with
think-
us,
well, maybe we
or,
should talk to him, because
I mean.
I was
when-
told we have to come up with a plan and
Mhm,
go before council for
Right.
approval.
Right,
I'm gonna work with the Historical Society. I don't see how you
Hmm.
can separate the two and
I don't think you can.
I think we'd
mean,
be crazy not to.
and build a wall, or build a wall between the two groups.
It's too much
because-
knowledge and information.
Well, and there again,
and
the
work.
purpose is pretty much the same.
Right,
the whole point is to have us work together,
right.
you know?
Yeah,
So,
So do we want to?
well, how do you do it with the town manager? Again, we can't do things if more than two, how does it work? Two of us go?
Yeah, I
Is
know.
that the rule?
Yeah, you can't have a quorum.
Right, and that's what, three?
Yes.
Okay.
So what if two of us
So-
sat in one room and two of us sat in another room? And the town
No.
manager sat in a
But,
doorway between the two rooms?
Or do you invite the town manager to
One
our
of our
next
meetings.
meeting?
Yeah.
So we can,
And really open up the
you know,
floor
do
for,
it. Is
really
that
get everything
kosher?
to them that we need.
to
Yeah.
invite the town manager to our meeting
Yeah,
here?
anybody can attend
Yeah.
each meeting.
Okay,
That's what we
As
need to
long
do.
as you don't have a meeting that hasn't been advertised and scheduled outside of our normal.
mhm,
Right,
Okay.
yep. I mean, maybe that's the way to do it.
okay, it
Is
puts it
to-
off another month, but what's
Well,
that?
we
No, I
can't
know,
really do
but-
anything anyway.
No, but we've got
But
time
do
to
you
think
have
about it.
him come so that we can get his insight and, you know,
Yeah.
And,
what,
and know exactly what we're gonna ask the gentleman, because you don't want to bombard him,
Mm.
but you want to build
Yep.
right up and get everything that
Right.
we need to ask and not get lost in
Right.
conversations, either just go
Right,
from
right,
point
right.
A to B and,
yep.
Right,
you
right.
know.
I mean, with
That doesn't-
him,
If
What's
that
that?
doesn't work, if you can't make it or for whatever reason, or if you want to get it done sooner, the best option would just be to have
do it on Zoom.
some representative, I'm thinking, go and meet with him.
Yeah.
Everybody write down their questions and have
Mhm,
one of the
Right.
people
Yeah.
go and meet with
Yeah,
them
we
separately.
could do
That's
that.
an option
Mhm.
too. It's probably quicker
And
that.
Yeah, that's a good.
Rather
And
than wait a
that
month.
falls to Norma,
Huh?
being the chair. I
She
said, I'm doing-
knows her stuff, though. This woman is
Yeah,
amazing.
No, I don't know everything.
What?
Close, very close. I didn't know where those benches came from.
Me neither, but we figured it out, though.
Yeah. No, I just feel that I don't want to just spin our wheels
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
come up with
that's what we-
nothing.
of
you
course,
know,
yeah.
But I want to work with the, and they're still moving out. They're moving out Monday. They're moving out Monday. You know what?
That's too bad.
It is what it is. I hate this. But it is what it is. They're moving out Monday. They're gonna finish moving out and everything's going to the annex. And it'll all be in one place where things, I wanna find the old minutes.
Mhm.
It's- I'm curious to what happened with Washington. That doesn't change anything.
That was a
now, but-
while ago, right, Norma?
Oh, it's the late '70s.
Oh, my God.
Well, it started in 1971. They were
Wow.
working on two in the two school, no, they were working between Reed and Anthony, and then their focus went to Washington because Anthony went to the fire department
I actually have the
in the
original
first 7 years
newspaper article type of
of
thing
what,
of the group when they were making,
Washington?
no, when they were putting together the Historic Society.
Oh, way back.
From, it was
yeah.
in the Times. It was, my
Oh,
grandfather
please.
must have cut it
Yeah,
out. or
they used to
something,
meet
you
at
know.
St. Vincent de Paul
Yep.
School Library.
Yep.
So seeing as we're talking about Reed School, the granite. The granite, the
Said
windows.
granite, The windows, yes.
same thing.
Money.
The windows.
Yeah.
Now,
The plexiglass for
we
the
need a
windows.
price on plexiglass, and
No,
can we use our,
I got the price for that
oh, you
a
do?
long time ago, yeah.
Okay, so what is it? I don't remember.
I think it was, you know, so I'm, to say exactly what it is, but it's somewhere in the $900 range.
Okay,
Hmm.
can we use our money to put the plexiglass
Because
on Reed
Chris
School?
Chris at Coventry Glass was doing it at a
The short answer is
reduced
yes.
rate,
Yeah, they're
Okay.
good.
If
Coventry
you are
Glass.
using town funds.
you know, because it's for the
Yeah.
historic.
That's
Rules
nice.
state that it needs to go out to bid.
Okay.
So it's as simple as me or one of the members just reaching out to 3 different companies
Okay,
and getting a price. That way, everybody has an equal opportunity to bid on it,
Okay.
and there's no
I'm sorry.
perception of
it
favoritism.
has to go out to bid to 3
No
people.
price, there's no,
That's the difference with town.
That's the problem, because, you know, you get
there's no
somebody
master
who's willing
price
to do
list
it
that the
for,
town uses
you know,
regarding anything like that.
Not that I know
Because I know if
Um,
there was, let's say Coventry Glass was on the master price list and the
Mm.
town deals with them, then that's what would work, but I guess.
of. I can look into that.
Who did you, County Glass? Is that who you?
King County Glass, yep. I
King
mean,
Coventry.
I know Todd.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
I'm
just had something done by.
I mean, Todd worked for Chris, that's where he learned to trade.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
I've
do
been
good work.
doing stuff with Coventry Glass for 40 years, so they're loyal to me, that I'm loyal to them,
that's
but
who we
that's
went
why he
to.
was doing it more as a
Yeah,
reduced cost favor thing. you
sure.
know, But,
And that's my understanding of the rules. I can double check on that.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
I usually err on the
That's-
side of caution.
See, that's
Oh,
why
yeah,
when the
of course, yeah.
historical society was going to do it, you don't get into that.
Because the
And you can
501c,
just-
that is the big
Yeah,
difference.
But
right
you
there.
don't have to do
Exactly.
3. They, you know,
Exactly.
so anyway, if we have to do it, then we have to get 3
3
Mm.
bids.
bids is what John's saying. That's what I was afraid of. Not that, I'm afraid, just it
No, I
means
know what you-
time. I don't have
it's
time to go
time.
running
It's
around.
time, it's time.
So
Mm.
I go to people and do these things and I ask them, hey, can you, help us out?
Yeah.
Do
And
it
that's something that
fairly.
I can do too, if you guys can give me something detailing exactly what you need, I can be the one to facilitate that, reaching out to different people. I just need to know what I'm asking for.
Mhm.
Mm.
But, just staying on the plexiglass panels and that, I mean, Kent County Glass would be the other one that you go to. And then third one, I don't know, someone probably the one over in Apponaug. House of Glass. I was
House
going
of
blank.
Glass
I
and
was going
Coventry
blank
Glass.
for a
Yeah,
minute
yeah,
there on the
yeah.
name of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they're local and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've dealt with them
something
too,
that-
yeah.
because it's a small job, it's not, for those guys, it's small. So
Yeah. it's
you want
not-
someone that's relatively close, because then they don't have a lot of travel time and whatever, if they're gonna give a price on it. So,
That's great.
okay.
So you can tell John what it is. I don't know. To me, it's plexiglass. I
How
don't
long
know.
ago did you get that? That estimate or just a rough?
It's
of
last
what?
fall, wasn't it?
I just asked Chris again.
Okay.
2
I was
weeks
just
ago.
curious
2
because
weeks ago.
all materials have gone up and it's been crazy. I was just curious if it was,
Well, he has it in stock there, so
that's a
it's
good,
not,
that's a good deal.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's very simple. I mean, it's very simple the way it's done. It's not anything complicated. So
Mm.
that's the good thing about it. It's just a little frame that goes around the plexi that holds it, and you have
Mm.
clips that hold it in place so it can be removed easily, but it protects the
Oh,
the
that's-
windows from damage
Do they
and
do it
from
from
the
the
weather.
outside or the inside? How do they do it? On the
Outside.
outside? Okay.
It's there because that's where all the damage occurs.
Gotcha.
And especially if someone throws something, but the weathering factor is
Right.
greatly reduced with the protection of it. So
Okay, I see.
That's why I had plexiglass before, because people would throw.
throw
bottles.
stuff
course.
going by on that one side,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So, but it turned all yellow and cracked and
Oh, okay.
Is the newer stuff more resistant to that yellowing than in the
Yes.
past?
Yeah, it's Lexan. It's,
and it filters
hot-
out the sun rays, right? The,
well, anything, as soon as you
but
put
I
a
mean,
layer on, it
yeah,
does.
it
you know.
helps the protection of
does,
what's
it
in the,
does.
in the
But I
building.
mean, the main reason this was going on was really to protect the
Yeah.
windows because, they're old and they can
Yeah.
deteriorate fairly quickly,
Yeah.
and the breakage problem.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so John,
Yeah,
He's
so, I can, just send you an email, and, just to get things started.
you'll send me an email, or send Norma?
I'll send everybody an
Okay.
email with things that I need.
Okay,
And then if you want to just reply back.
all right,
um,
that's good.
that
I didn't
way
know how
we'll-
you
we'll
wanted to
get
do
the
it.
ball rolling
All
that
right.
way.
Okay. While we're still on schools, we're on Reed, but the Anthony Mapledale School is out for bid.
Mm.
Does anybody bid on it? Do you know?
I believe there was one bid. But it got tabled at the town council meeting.
Okay.
That's as far as I know.
The reason why I bring that up is because I was told that if we, we want to go in and see if there's anything salvageable in there, to
Mm.
contact the town manager, so we could go in
Yeah,
to see.
we should do that.
So,
We've been
once
in
it
a couple
gets-
times, but it's
Yeah.
been too long now. That was 7, 8 years ago.
yeah, it's been a
Mm.
while. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, because once it gets sold, you can't go in and
No,
take
no,
things.
you have to do it before it's sold.
Right.
Obviously. So,
How old is that? Do you know?
1880
Oh,
something.
geez.
The original school is over near where, on the curve where Ice House Florist was, a one-room
Yeah,
schoolhouse.
you had said that.
Right,
to me.
right
One
across
room
the
schoolhouse,
street. That-
Yes,
Yep.
and then they built the bigger school because Anthony was growing, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's anything salvageable. I know there's a circle at the top peak. I don't know if there's anything under there, like a window or
You would
something
know. I bet
that
you
would be
know if you
worth saving, you know,
Yeah. I haven't been by it lately to see how much more it's
well,
deteriorated,
I was
but,
told that another tree fell on it, so there are more holes in the
Yeah.
roof,
oh
so,
my God.
you know, so, you know, we
Mm.
tried to save it
Yep.
and, but, I don't know if any of you have noticed the smokestack of Anthony
Yeah, it's
Mill is.
down to,
Yes.
down to about 40 feet,
Oh my
30 feet
God.
now.
Out there today and they were just dropping the bricks
believe
off.
it.
Yeah, but there's a little door downstairs and then they pull them all out. I saw them
Yep.
doing that this morning. I'm gonna go get some
I was
bricks.
across the street at Ace and I could just see the bricks like
Yeah.
coming down and I was like, oh, I hope they have a good
So
system for
Right.
keeping people away from
Yeah.
there.
I was at Ace at about 5 and I'm
Mm.
looking at, I mean, I like it where it is right now. It's too bad they
Mm.
couldn't leave it right
Are
at
they
that
taking
level,
it
you
down
know?
Totally, do you know?
Wow.
No, I know as much as you guys. I went by and I noticed it looked shorter. I didn't
Yeah.
see anybody working on it. I just
Yeah.
thought my eyes were
Well,
playing tricks
I
on
was
me.
seeing there was a section missing and then the next day,
Oh, yeah.
did they
Mm.
put them back up? Because they used to work on it and plug it and,
Yeah.
well, now it's getting shorter and shorter
Right.
and shorter.
One
So-
piece at a time, they were just
Yeah.
dropping.
Yeah, but I want to go get some bricks. All we have is a bunch of bricks by the time we're done, but, I want to go get some bricks. But
Build
hopefully
a
they leave the
structure.
bottom part, where there's like a little
Yeah,
door that you go
right.
in.
I doubt it, but it would be cool if they did.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but anyway, I didn't know if maybe John knew what they were doing. Okay, anything else before we go to new business? Maybe it's not even old new business, but it's new business. Did you put it here? Oh, there it is.
I saw it. Is it about,
Commission membership. I was looking at the website. And they have Dean Bentley on as a commissioner.
I noticed that too.
Dean Bentley
Yesterday.
is not a commissioner. He decided not, that if we had enough people, he wasn't gonna do it anymore.
Right.
But I was told Travis was left on, but Travis isn't listed at all, and
His name's
Travis
not
is
there.
not well, so I don't really know what's happening here. So seeing as that position is vacant, can we upgrade Ann from auxiliary, or whatever she is,
Auxiliary.
auxiliary, to a full
She
position?
should be.
And I don't know how we do that.
I'm not really sure.
Have to take a test.
That might require an appointment.
Yeah.
By the town council. That's off the top of my head, where my mind goes, or something like that. But, I can look into that for you and see, where everybody stands, what everybody's, I guess, title is, and their status. And, see what can be done, what are the rules and as far as
Okay.
upgrading numbers and
And
the like.
does that leave us with one place open to try and,
I was told recently that
Find
somebody
someone
said
else.
that they saw on the website that there's 2 openings on the
Mhm.
district commission, which would be, if she moves up, it would be auxiliary. Because that gives us the 5 full members. If she moves up,
right, right.
because Dean is not, he
No.
said if we had enough people, he would step away. And I thought we had enough people, but his name's still on the website and she was appointed as an auxiliary, which doesn't,
Well, and we talked about that before too, and I don't know, I don't think it was ever decided, but that if people miss X amount of meetings,
Yeah, we did,
and if
yeah.
it's not due to illness,
Yeah.
that they can be replaced on the
yeah.
commission.
So if she upgrades, or whatever you want to call it, to full commission. and then-
Elevated,
And then we get 2 auxiliaries, I don't know, somebody said they saw that there were 2 openings, I wasn't aware of 2 openings.
It could also be a case where, the website is just out of date, hasn't been
Okay.
updated in a while. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
So that's something that I can look into and see,
Okay,
start with how many members we have, what their role is,
Mhm.
and if there's any openings, potential openings, and then we'll go from there.
okay, all right. So if you need to be sworn in again, do you mind?
No, I don't. I didn't know when I applied, I was applying for an auxiliary position. I didn't know, I thought it was just
No,
like
you were
a,
applying, yeah.
yeah, I applied like everybody else, that's all, but,
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah,
that, I don't have any
that's
issue with
okay.
it. It's, no, I think it'd be fine. Thank
No,
you.
it just makes sense if there's one that's not even really on the commission anymore. Somebody,
right.
That's good.
Yeah,
I can see them through the blinds. I can see the
Oh,
ball
okay.
bouncing.
okay. Is there anything else? So just to update, we'll talk to town manager about getting together to discuss this, what we do as a steward.
Yes,
Okay,
Yep.
and John is gonna
What we
find out
can do.
about making money.
Yes,
about making money. Yeah.
Making money.
fundraising.
About
Yeah,
raising,
fundraising.
fundraising.
And
Yeah.
getting plexiglass for the windows
Yes,
and the
membership status.
membership status, yes. Okay. Anything else?
No. Want me to make
Oh.
a motion?
Is there public comment?
Yes, so the only other agenda item is public comment. We do have one person, it looks like Sandy wants to talk.
Okay,
Just one. Sandy, your mic is off. But you should be allowed to speak.
I think we lost
Unmute
Sandy.
yourself.
All right. Sandy sent me a text. It says, I lost all of you. The screen went blank.
Uh-oh.
When was that?
okay.
Sandy sent me a text on my phone.
Just now?
Yeah. Well, a couple minutes ago, by the looks of it.
It looked like she went off for a minute and then she came back. It looks like she's back on, but
Okay.
yeah, you can see her right here on the screen.
That was 20 minutes ago. She sent it. Actually, I didn't look at it because I,
Oh, 'cause we were-
you want me to text you?
Yeah,
Ask her if she can come back on.
yeah, Sandy, it looks like you're on. If you can unmute yourself. We just can't hear you right now.
Now, who are the two participants?
One of them is us.
Okay.
So, you calling him?
One ring. It's weird. I can't get a call through. You have to go stand outside.
Yeah, it's trying to do it here in the building.
Yeah, that might, maybe in the hallway it might work better.
Try standing on your head.
That's not right.
Put the phone on my feet.
Grab some tinfoil around your arms.
It says call not sent over here. You go over here. Call not sent. They can't get out.
Yeah, service is spotty.
Call not sent.
That's what the Mapledale skill looked like when it was new.
In its heyday.
Look at that. And the two entrances for the boys and the girls.
Mm.
And the thing on the side of it, what's that little doorway on the side of it?
Then I don't know what's going
That
on.
little
here.
doorway was another exit. I think it was added
Let me
at
go
some
and call
point
her
on it,
outside
but
and ask her. if
that's
she's
before
on.
they, that's, that back part was put on long after this was done, but that was a nice picture that was up in the Historical Society that I copied.
Oh, that's really neat.
when we were doing that work that
Oh,
day,
nice.
Maureen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's too bad though, huh? You can't keep all these buildings and you can't. It's just too
Here's
bad.
Sandy now calling me.
Oh, she's gonna be mad.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's probably Norma calling her.
Norma's trying to call you, Sandy.
I know, my other phone's ringing.
Okay, well, anyway, we can't hear you.
It's amazing.
And I'm talking, but nobody can hear me.
Can she unmute herself?
Can she unmute? Yeah, she's on mute.
It seems like you're muted.
Yeah. I don't see any microphone. The bottom of the screen? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
There you
Yep.
are.
Hey, there you are. You're on now.
Okay,
You're
can
good
everybody
now.
hear me now?
Yes, we
We can hear
can.
Just one.
I'm gonna shut off my phone.
Okay, what is it you want to know?
All right. So we're waiting for Norma to come back and John to come back.
All right,
She's on.
all right, my computer died.
Oh,
Yeah, it just, I'm sure you were trying to contact me, but it just went, it froze up on me. Anyway, the last thing I heard was you were talking about the glass, the plexiglass.
okay. So what do you have, what input do you have about what we discussed? You heard us talk about the Reed School, right?
No, that's when my computer died.
So you didn't hear about the Reed School?
No,
All right. We're gonna meet with the town manager to ask him what the stewardship should mean, because we would think, we were saying, we think we should be, as now that the stewardship is ours because of that town council meeting, that we should decide, I guess, the terms of it with like the historical society or whatever.
okay,
So we're going to meet with the town manager. We had thought about the next meeting, but that's too long, so I will meet with him before the next commission meeting. Because I think if we can work things out together, we can work together as the two groups like we have right along.
but I don't think Ben's the problem.
No, that's what I mean. Once we set up the standard of this is what it is, then it shouldn't be a problem anymore.
Mm. Well, she wants you to pay for the plexiglass and
Yes,
does.
we know that, we know that, we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we talked about that too. It has to go out to bid, where you have to get like 3 bids, which John is gonna do.
Yeah,
And then from there, we will probably pay that out of our budget money,
okay.
and that'll be done. I'm trying to think, what else did we talk about?
Did you inform the commission that we're taking everything out of the
Yes.
school that belongs to the society?
Yes. Yep, they're
Okay.
aware. It's coming out Monday. I told them that. We talked about the advantages of us working together with a group that has the 501c3, which we've talked about in the past. I'm just thinking that now that this stewardship is ours, this is what I want to say to the town manager, is that I think we should, us on the commission and him, decide what that stewardship means, and then can we work as a partner in the as far as the two groups, if
Right,
that's
yeah.
the case. I mean, we all know each other. We've known each other for years, so a lot of us have. it shouldn't be the problem it's become.
Well, the problem is, it's not up to Ben, it's up to her.
Well, we're gonna talk to Ben about that, and then we'll go before council. It's gonna be up to council, not her, council. We're gonna go before council.
Yeah,
There again, where the council wants to have a meeting with the Historical Society at some point in time. I don't know when that's gonna be. But we're gonna do it before council, not in front of one person, in front of council. It's gonna be
well,
a-
what one of the council members suggested was the Historical Society as well as the Preservation and the Town Council, we all three entities meet at the same time in the same room.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because
exactly,
there's a lot of miscommunication.
right. But it needs to be done with everybody on board, not just one person, or this one said that, and this one said that.
Yeah,
Everybody must
exactly.
know. And that's been a problem with a lot of things in town. What one knows, the other one doesn't know, and we're not gonna tell them. You know, this one-on-one business is all well and good, but sooner or later, you have to bring everybody together.
Right, exactly.
And that's what we're gonna do.
And one of the reasons why I'm taking everything out of the school that belongs to the society is I don't know who's going to be going into that building in the future.
That's
I
true.
have no idea.
It's true.
And I want all of that stuff protected. And it's
Mhm.
going to be protected under lock and key.
Mhm.
So whatever she wants to do with the desks, that's between her and Kevin McGee and Ben or whoever. The chairs, the desks do belong to us, but I just can't see ripping those bolts out of the floor just so somebody can walk around the room. That's ludicrous. So the chairs can stay there as far as I'm concerned. But everything else is going. That's about it.
Well, hopefully, I know everything's moving out, maybe the next few months. We can,
I think we need a one-on-one,
Yeah.
face-to-face.
With
Because
all of
there's a
them,
lot
with
of
all of
communi,
them,
yeah, there's
with all of
an
them.
issue with communication and.
right,
you
Right.
really need
I
a
just
face-
wish I knew the reasoning for all of this disruption in our lives. That's what I don't understand. And it hasn't been explained to me yet. So, like I said, I'm moving forward. I have to protect what belongs to the society. And right now, that's really all I care about.
Well, maybe we can figure it out and we can get to some conclusion that's going to be good
Yeah.
to the
It's gonna-
Historical Society and to us.
yeah, it's gonna
Right.
take some time. I mean, it fell apart relatively quick. It's gonna take some time to work out something. And something that's agreeable to most of us.
And I think you have to start with the town manager and
Yeah.
just so he's aware,
Right,
because since he's new, he's not, really knows that much about what's
Right.
going on with the various parties involved and the history of it. And
Exactly.
he needs
and with
to
so
hear
much,
from us to know what's going on.
with so
Well,
much,
he does know what's going on with the school. Because
He
I've
does know.
spoken to him about it.
yeah, he does not.
But, he more or less said it was up to her. But yes, I really think all of you should have a meeting with him and see where he's at with it. I just don't know anymore. I mean, the previous president of the society is so upset over this. I've been trying to not tell her everything because she's elderly and I don't want to be responsible for her getting sick. No way. So I guess I'll leave it up to you guys to see what you can do.
Yeah, well, yeah,
We're gonna resolve it.
yeah.
It may take us some time, but we'll resolve it. And then at the time, you can decide if anything goes back in the school. I mean, if the desks are there, the desks are there. But if you want to put anything back in the school that pertain to the school, but there's things there that don't pertain to the school, that the filing cabinets and things like that. But there's some diplomas of people that went to that school.
Right.
There's a poem that one of the Warner, that owned Warner's Inn, that wrote, because he was the only graduate that year, and he wrote a poem. I mean, there's a lot that
Wow.
does pertain to that school. There's a lot of letters and things from students.
It's important stuff.
Isn't the clock that Bob made,
It's
is that
the-
at the
He
school?
Didn't
Didn't Bob make
he
it?
donated one?
Did he make it?
I don't think he made it.
Oh.
There were
What's
two
that,
clocks.
Maureen? I didn't hear you.
Did the clock that Bob donated? I
Oh,
was
Bob
just asking-
Shawnee. Yeah, that's on the wall,
Yeah, that's gonna
but
come
that
down.
belongs to the society also.
Right.
And he
Everything,
wants it in safekeeping.
The question
Everybody's
was,
in a turmoil over this.
did he make
Yes.
that, Sandy?
No.
No.
He
No, it's an-
donated it, but he
That's
didn't
it.
make
an
it.
Okay.
antique. There were books in there, all the books have come out,
Mhm.
a whole set of Mark Twain books.
Yeah, from what, 1903?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, they were in
That's-
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're valuable, and I
Ooh,
just,
that is a-
we can't leave anything in there
You don't
in
wanna
chance
lose
that
those.
somebody's gonna walk with it.
Yeah, that's-
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, so everything is coming out. And then if the time comes that anything goes back, there's gonna be a written agreement as to who owns what.
Mhm.
It'll be in writing if I
Exactly,
decide to
exactly.
go back.
Well, there again, time will tell, and if something goes back, it's in writing.
All right.
What can I say?
All right. Chapter 7.
Okay, well, thank you, Sandy.
Thanks, Sandy.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you got to be on.
Yeah, well, I was struggling with it.
Yeah, we don't see you, we just see your name, but,
Okay.
okay.
All right,
All
I'll
right.
talk to you after.
Yeah,
All right.
okay, thanks.
Thank
Sandy.
you.
Maureen, I'll get a hold of you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. I
Yep.
haven't had a chance to call a friend there about the Rock Cemetery. Remember?
The Fieldstone Cemetery that you talked about.
Fieldstone Cemetery.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay, gotcha.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm there. I got it now.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you, Sandy.
All
Thank you.
right, bye-bye.
Bye, Sandy.
a motion to adjourn. We're done, right?
That's everything on the agenda.
Motion to adjourn,
I'll make a
Second that motion. You make one?
I'll make a
Motion,
motion.
Okay.
you can second. Did
You
he
want to
second?
make it? Go ahead. I'll second it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Let's
Okay.
hang out for another hour.
Yeah, let's sit
Let's
here.
hang out. Let's just hang out for a
Shut
second.
the thing off.
Okay.
Did they have the cemetery walk yet, Maureen?
No,